The Vietnam War was a watershed event in U.S. history. Unfettered access by the media brought home iconic yet grievous images. Vietnam was kindling for an inferno that enveloped the fabric of America in the 60s and early 70s. The controversy over U.S. involvement there split the country. Soldiers were not only casualties of battle, but also of the politics of the war. Upon their return, veterans were brushed aside or even scorned. In the years since, appreciation and recognition of their sacrifices have been slow in coming. But the city of Milwaukie and American Legion Post 180 were the chief sponsors of a 4-day tribute to the veterans, with an emphasis on those from Vietnam.
The Vietnam War is remembered as being a complicated and difficult chapter in our nation's history. But there's nothing complicated about what we are trying to do here today. We remember and honor our dead who have given us so much. We will always remember.
The event included a parade honoring military service and sacrifice. But the centerpiece of the tribute was a visit from the Vietnam Moving Wall. It arrived with a motorcade escort of local veteran motorcyclists. Volunteers were recruited to help set up the half-sized replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. at the Milwaukie High School Stadium. The Moving Wall has been traveling around the country for over 3 decades, allowing veterans and citizens to experience the power of the wall without the cross-country trek.
It allowed for a lot of veterans who are medically, they cannot make the trip back to Washington, D.C. to see that wall. Agent Orange has destroyed their bodies, and I know of 10 that have been able to come that would not have been able to, all the way from Northern California. Also, it has provided those that have no money and can never get back there, and this is just an amazing thing to have this here.
The event marked the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. Over the course of 2 decades, more than 58,000 Americans made the ultimate sacrifice in response to our nation's call to service in Vietnam. Over 700 were from Oregon, and 14 were from Milwaukie.
Milwaukie is both honored and humbled to have the wall visit us and to allow our citizens and the citizens of the broader area to be able to come and honor the fallen.
For many visitors to the Moving Wall, especially young people, it was an opportunity to learn about a critical but often glossed over chapter in our history. Reenactors even provided a glimpse of what life was like for the soldiers of the era. For others, particularly veterans and family members, it was a very personal and emotionally overwhelming experience. Tears were shed and stories were told, but not every story is tragic. Marine veteran Ernie Keener was seriously wounded in battle at Quezon Son and never returned to his unit.
Since I was medevaced out of there, you lose contact with every brother you had over there, and you're always wondering, what happened to them. So one of the reasons I came here today was to see if my buddy Paul E. Hess was on the wall, and so it was a good feeling not to see his name on the wall.
But the event focused on the names on the wall and on the native sons of Oregon who sacrificed their lives. All 5 Clackamas County Commissioners and the President of the Milwaukie City Council took part in the somber reading of the names of over 700 Oregonians killed in action there.
Douglas Allen Cook, Lewis Colin Cook,
Evans,
Michael
Arnold
Andrew
Joe
Crabtree,
Halter, Terry
William
Dean
Randall
Finch,
Train,
Robert Bruce
Eugene
Findlay,
Luker,
Harold
John
Norman
Allen
Flieger,
McDonald,
Marcel,
Earl
Richard Joseph
Frey,
Mallon,
Roy
Charles
Walter
Leroy
David
Martin,
Freeman,
James
Robert
Emmett
G.
Martin,
Fuller,
Sherman,
Gary
Joel
Wayne
N.
Martini,
Gabriel,
Dwayne
Ernest
Charles
Nick
McClure,
Cole,
Philip
William
Herring
John
McNeil,
LeGrand,
Philip
Gary Grant Lamb,
Jr.,
William James
Elmer
Langman,
Porter,
Mark
David
Michael
Ernest Meade,
Langstrom,
Terrence
James
Leo
Alfred
Meyer,
Lessig,